Well, we should begin.
We should
Okay.
begin.
Let's do that.
So I
We're
can
gonna
go
have
when I
new
have to
intro
go.
for you.
New intro.
What?
Like graphics and stuff. We're
Oh,
getting a
nice.
even more amped up intro for you. A cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it
Good.
still have slow down music though?
Probably.
Good. I like that. I like this.
It'll be like spinning like our other one and stuff.
I like the movies with Mark's song.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
Ready?
Do I gotta do it?
You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Movies with Mark.
Oh, yeah, good. It slows down. The finger on the tin.
Yeah.
So what was different about that? How was that different?
That one's not different. We got a marketing buddy that's working on a new one.
Oh, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not-
Okay.
They're teasing you, Mark.
Oh, I'm so easy. I'm very easily teased. Everybody around here teases me all the time. I'm the big dummy.
I am too, because I thought he was going to pop up some graphics as well.
Easily
I'm kinda
teased. All you got to be
disappointed.
is alone on an airplane, and the big bad wolf will
Oh boy.
get the attention.
Yeah. Who?
So yeah,
Who's
what are we
afraid of
talking
the
about
big
today?
bad wolf? Everybody.
Speaking of the big bad wolf, oh, you're talking about Little Red now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about A Promising Young Woman first.
Yes.
First, Promising Young Woman,
Okay.
first, which is,
Um,
in my opinion, a sequel to Little Red.
Very possibly could be. It's. I mean, they do have that relationship.
Mhm.
So everybody watched Little Red, class, correct? I mean, not
Yes.
Little Red. Did everybody watch Little Red?
Yes.
Both.
I did
His
not.
mom did not, but she watched
you didn't?
Promising Young Woman.
Okay. Watch
My mom wants
Promising
to
Young
keep
Woman.
a proper image of you, so she refused to watch Little Red.
Oh, I think it's good because it would probably freak you out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Promising Young Woman.
A Promising Young Woman is about. What's it about? Tom, tell me what it's about.
Vigilante woman seeking vengeance for men and people who defend men who take advantage of intoxicated women.
That's a little dry, but that's good. Is
Okay.
it a comedy?
There is romantic comedy.
Romantic comedy. Okay.
It turned into a romantic comedy when her and the nice guy were having a good relationship and dancing in the pharmacy and stuff.
Well,
That was a great fun. That was a fun bit.
There
Yeah.
were comedic parts to
The
it.
parents were
I
very
think-
funny.
So I think it's a dark comedy, and a romantic comedy. It's all kinds of comedy. Because I think it's funny when she has been acting drunk and suddenly opens her eyes and says, "What are you doing to this asshole who's, excuse me, pardon my language,
That's
to this jerk who is trying to take advantage of her."
She scared
I think those moments are funny, right?
Yeah.
Molly, would you agree? Yeah.
Yes. And then
Um,
it's cut to
what?
next scene. She's eating like a dripping ketchup hot dog. And it's
Yes,
a white shirt and it pans up and it looks like it could be blood.
yeah.
that's right. Yeah, it could be blood down. Yeah, it's on her front, down her leg. Yeah.
What did she do to that poor guy?
Yeah, it implies
Poor
killed
guy.
him, but it
Right.
never shows any death. However, in her notebook, there were blue marks and red marks
And red mark.
and
Wow.
black marks.
Like
Oh,
they had
that's
different
Ellie's.
meanings?
wow,
Yeah, so
very
when she
observant.
didn't kill the one guy, she just scared the crap out of him. She grabbed she always puts the ponytail in her hand, and she grabbed the blue pen and blue marked them.
I
So
figured
I'm like-
she was just grabbing whatever.
I
pen,
didn't
but
catch that.
maybe.
Yeah, so she used different colors, so you can see the tallies have
I
different
think
colors
maybe
through
she
'em.
just had a different pen, like we use something.
But now,
We
Tom,
just- to it.
Tom, what guy did she kill? Did she actually kill somebody?
There were red marks, so I was assuming that the filmmakers with the blood dripping connotation, she had blood on her leg. The hot dog, nobody eats a hot dog like that. I was just assuming that they were implying she kills some people, and then when they go to the guy who played Doc Ock, and she had another person like who she hired and still had to pay, was he going to go in there and kill him?
Or just
But
rough
then,
them up, right?
then
I think
she forgave him and used a black pen So she
Okay.
blue pen on the dude she scared,
Wow.
a black pen on the dude she forgave, but they never showed what she used the red pen tally for.
Like the first guy, no one knows what happened there.
The pages.
Well,
yeah.
but we do know what happened to him because later she goes out with the black guy, the African American guy,
Right?
Yep.
when she runs into, I can't remember his name, the real boyfriend, and he says at the end of that scene, he says, "Jerry was right. You're crazy,"
Yeah,
or
so
something
Jerry
like
didn't
that, and
die.
runs off. So Jerry lived. She didn't kill Jerry. I don't think she kills anybody.
I don't
think so
either.
either. But
But I just at one point where you're talking about that, very unlikely scene to me, seeing a brother going, "You're ruining everything," and then he runs away. It's like brothers don't act like that. What the
Did
hell?
you-
Where you find this
you
guy?
can be sensitive too.
Oh, please. Well, you're going to take her home and take advantage of her because she was half passed out, and then you're ruining everything, and he runs away. It's like it's just so weird to me.
I think that's funny.
I did too.
She reduces the guy to tears.
Yeah.
Because mostly because she said, what did she say to him? Something about, do you have any luck with this routine in the daylight when people can actually see you?
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
said to
Something
other
like-
girls who do that, and some of them carry
That was her cool
scissors.
bluff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
Right.
she ruined everything. Well, what was the guy, the doctor?
You ruined my
Plan.
fantasy of taking a drunk woman home and taking advantage
That's
of her.
an awful. That's an awful.
Yeah. Right.
First off, again, Mark, you always want to promote these movies with men being pieces of garbage. Every man in this movie was a piece of shit, and that's not real life.
Not the dad.
The dad wasn't. Yeah,
Or
the
the,
dad was
the
cool.
lawyer.
The lawyer was a piece of shit. Oh, he felt a little bad, and all of a sudden, come on, man. How many years did he take advantage of people, and then now he's feeling guilty? Very unlikely.
So you've never been a piece of shit, as you put it?
Not
in
like
your way?
that. Hell no. No way. I
Are
have
you sure?
absolutely. I've had women. I was like, I think we better stop, and I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not a piece of shit. No, I'm not. And I'm not taking a girl home that's in that condition unless I'm putting her to bed.
All right. Have you ever seen another man, a bro, as you referred to that other guy before, as sort of being a little inappropriate with a woman and said, "Hey, cut it out"?
Absolutely.
Have you ever stood up and said,
Absolutely.
"Cut it out"? Yeah.
Yes.
He's a man of honor.
No, I
He's
raised
the one. He's the one
same
man
way.
of honor.
And that's why I was offended by that because I'm like, Jesus Christ, even the good guy turns out to be a piece of shit. And by the way, I don't know if you know, what was his name? It's escaping me right now.
I'll grab it.
But he was a stand-up comic as a teen, and he was doing theaters. This guy that played the doctor. He was
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham, yeah. He was
Yep, Bo
a
Burnham.
teenage stand-up comic, and he was doing theaters as a teenager. I mean, he was really, really good, really early. And now
Yeah.
he's this, and I thought, oh, he's a good guy. And then he turns out to be a piece of garbage too, because even then he had a chance to redeem himself when everything, the cat was out of the bag, and then he didn't say anything or do anything. He just kind of sat back and waited. I'm getting feedback. Are y'all?
Because when you started talking,
You're getting very excited.
I know.
Your heart, man.
This is the thing. This is the thing, Mark.
I want you to realize, though, William, that this is not a documentary.
No, but I think that Hollywood is putting forth an agenda of guys being a piece of shit, and it's just what it is. It does. It destroys the family. In my opinion, you're going after the head of the family. This is
The
communist.
head of the family. Yeah, so you're a man of honor. I
It
gotcha.
destroyed the family, and that's how I feel about it, honestly. So, I thought she was great. I loved her. She was amazing, and I wish that it didn't end up like it did, because I would like to have her to have been happy with that guy and live out the rest of her life. The girl's mother even said, "It's enough already." You're
and
constantly
she tried to
coming
move on.
Yeah.
Then she found the video.
Well,
Right.
and that woman, why would she give her that video? Like, here, I do whatever
Because
you
that
want
was
with
like
it.
her
She
superpower was
trying to
getting
get back at her.
mentally in under your skin. So you do things and feel certain ways.
Well, that's another thing. She hired that guy to put that girl after she had too much to drink up in her room, not to do anything, but she let her think something happened, and she
Oh,
was
yeah.
freaked out and wouldn't call her back. So she fucked with her mentally, and then maybe that's why she decided to say, "Here." Like, why would you do that, though? I mean, it just kind of made things go so freaking bad after she saw that video.
Did she actually know that that was her boyfriend?
She might have. He might have been.
Yeah, from the
vindictive.
voice.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She recognized the voice.
Sorry.
You're supposed to mute
Oh
your
my
phone.
goodness.
Sorry.
Oh
What is
my
wrong with
God,
you?
Ma.
And she,
Hey, Mark, is
Yeah.
the microphone down on your headphones, or is it up?
No, it's up. Now, should it be down? Is that
Yeah.
better?
Flip it down.
There, he did.
Okay. I'm
It
just
did.
wondering. Okay.
I'm
Is
sorry.
that better?
Oh,
You're good.
worked
You're
up
fine.
about it, but again, you don't see that it looks like there's some kind of Hollywood agenda that it's just kind of.
I think it fit for this movie. though.
I think. Well, I quibble with the word agenda, but I think there's an agenda. I just with the value on the word agenda. You make it sound like it's a negative, and I think it's a positive because I think things have gone on for way too long. I mean, what's his name? We talked about him the other Harvey Weinstein.
Got away with it.
There's so much abuse of power in Hollywood, and not just in Hollywood, everywhere in the news media, in everywhere. There's so much abuse of power that it needs to be called out.
I know, but it seems kind of hypocritical since they're the ones who are abusing power, turning around and dictating to us how we should live our lives. It's like it kind of rings hollow to me. It's like Harvey Weinstein and all these Hollywood people, they have been preaching all this gospel of how to act, and then they turn around and act completely different.
Yeah, like all those evangelical Christians that would rather hang out with the little boys, with underage boys,
That's
or
right.
with underage women and get caught. That's hypocritical too. Yeah, I'm not denying that there's hypocrisy. I don't think Emerald Farrell or whatever her name is and Carey Mulligan and the people involved in this movie are involved in any hypocrisy at all. I mean, I don't believe that they abuse power. I believe that they actually try to treat people fairly. I think they try to. Well, no, they don't. They call out every asshole there is in this movie, but
Yeah, even the dean.
Even the dean, the woman who very kind, very gentle, very soft-spoken, wonderful woman, but she didn't do anything when she was asked to.
She learned her lesson, though. And you see, and then
Yep.
I thought that there was some redeemable qualities with the girl because she didn't put her in danger. She had her in the cafe. She just let her mother think she was in danger.
Right.
She's in the room. You know the room.
She did give the teenage girl some band blue balls though, because the band wasn't coming.
Well, I get that. But like, I think she taught her a lesson, but she took the high road in the way that she did it. And that's why I don't think she killed anybody
Yeah.
at the beginning, And I mean,
Yeah.
No, I think she's really just trying to educate in an active way. She's trying to educate people. She's getting revenge, yes. She's getting justice, I think, more than revenge, and she's educating. I mean, all those men that presumably one can presume, all those men that are in that book that she checked off that she humiliated or discovered as assholes. She discovered them as assholes to themselves and scared the crap out of them, and maybe they'll amend their behavior. I'm sure that the guy who, I mean, every time you see a woman that you're attracted to and you see a smudge on her forehead and you go, oh, let me get that. And you wipe the smudge on the forehead. That's what they call a microaggression. That's aggressive.
I've never done that. I don't touch a woman like that.
You never stop short.
Well, I'm just trying to keep you from going through the. But seriously, I've never you don't touch people, man. Maybe I'm from the South. I was raised differently. You don't just reach out and touch people.
I think this woman kind of felt like she died with her friend because she didn't move out. She didn't have a boyfriend. She didn't do anything. All the money she was making was going to pay these guys. And like her vigilante side was her entire life's purpose now. She didn't care about the job. She didn't care about anything else. She never moved out. And she's like, I'm dead too. So it doesn't matter if I die doing this.
But I hate that is what happened to her. Like, why could that? Like, he thought she was going to let the cat out of the bag, which she did anyway. But why harm her?
The girl?
Yeah, why harm the girl?
You
She
are
was
so
going to
triggered by
cut-
this movie.
Him, right? Tattoo names into him with a scalpel.
He
Yeah,
freaked out.
okay.
She was going to tattoo what's her
Yeah.
name, Lisa's name into his chest.
Yeah.
I don't know. If the girl's got me handcuffed and a scalpel while she's straddling me, there may be
Listen,
some.
There was
All right.
lots of mental stuff going
Defense.
on there. She had just
Yeah.
felt that she had the video, that she put like everything. Basically, I can ruin your life. I can release this video, and
Right.
she's like now over top of him, going to cut into him with a scalpel. He's freaking out. He's like, there's a million things going through his mind.
Don't you
Yeah.
think?
She never actually cut him, and like Molly says, the odds are greater probably that she would get right up to the scalpel on his chest and not
Probably
do it.
mess with him. She wanted
Just-
to see how he would react because she even
Yeah.
said to her the boyfriend, she said that depends on him. Because when
Right.
what are you
yeah.
gonna do? She's like, well, that depends on him.
Yeah, she didn't go in there knowing went in there with a supposition that supposing that she could die, they could kill her. She knew that she was walking into danger because she set it up with the letter to the lawyer and the tape, and so she's improvising all the time. She doesn't know exactly what's going to, and I don't think she has any conscious intent to actually hurt somebody, other than, as Molly says, to mentally get them to the point where they recognize terror,
Right.
and that they're the root cause of that terror, and that they change them and they change their behavior.
Or not even just terror, but I think it was that they recognize or
Yeah.
admit that it was wrong because so many people had just covered it up and acted like nothing was wrong.
Right.
Happened with the dean. She kept up the act until the dean finally was like, oh yes, I remember her, and I'm so sorry, and blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The dean, I think, probably, I don't know. You'd have to see what she does with the next 10 years of her life, but she seems to have had an epiphany and gone through something. She seems to have gotten there.
Right.
Well,
to
the
that
same
point.
thing with the lawyer too. I mean, she did let him off the hook, even though I still think he's a piece of garbage that he did it for so long. But he's feeling remorse. He remembered the girl's name. He remembered what had happened.
He remembered the girl's name and not the guy's name. That alone almost saved him in her eyes.
Right. And then it just showed she had some humanity inside of her, although she was dead inside. Like when she felt that people recognized what had happened, she was a little bit more understanding.
And she's very warm with the lawyer too. When he breaks down, she believes it and trusts him. She puts her hand on him to comfort him. I mean, she really
Tells him to go to sleep.
What?
She tells him to go to sleep because he said he hadn't
He
slept.
couldn't sleep. Yeah.
She's like, I
Oh,
freaking get some sleep.
Yep.
Right.
Basically teaching lessons. That was it.
Yeah, I think there's more than a little humanity in her. And when you say she's dead inside, I don't know. No, none of us are dead inside. We may
Well, I
feel
think
we're
who she
dead
was
inside.
died.
Huh?
Who she was died with her friend Nina.
Well, she was a promising young woman, one of the top in her class, medical student, very promising, big career, wanted to be a doctor since she was a child, and she gave that up. You're right. She gave that up to seek justice for her friend, and justice in her mind is recognition that you did wrong. The lawyer recognized that he was wrong, and he's been trying to atone.
Well, and it wasn't a vendetta at first until the boyfriend mentioned that this guy was back in town and all these people, and then she found out, and then she started making a list and going after them. But I really think that she was truly hoping the whole time to find someone, and I'm shocked that in that many situations there was no one guy. I mean, I wish there had been at least. There's no way.
I know.
I mean, there would have been at least one guy who was a decent guy and took her home, and But anyway,
and they kept saying that I'm a good guy. Good bullshit.
Oh, and they all think they are. I mean, they don't think they're taking advantage. I mean, they think they're just doing what guys do. I'm just being a guy. I was so young. How many of them say it was so long ago? I was so young. I was just a kid. The girl Madison says that same thing.
Yep.
We all did it.
Time. If I hear that one more time.
I know. I know. She's so funny.
Oh, she was amazing in that role. I mean, I'm so sorry she didn't get the Oscar because
I am too.
great.
It's a much more, I think, it's a much more deserving acting job to get the Oscar than. And Frances McDormand is good, but Frances McDormand is Frances McDormand. She put the movie together. She made the whole thing. She really does a great job of listening through Nomadland. But Carey Mulligan really performs. I mean, she performs as Cassie, and she performs Cassie too.
Right, which must have been just such a, it's
Yeah.
something like what, she had to step into this character. And, the one scene for me that really like stuck out was it the first time that she went out with this guy? And they're walking home and he just does this, oh, look at here. We're at my apartment. You want to come up? And like her reaction. And she was so disappointed because you can see it going through her head like, man, I really liked this guy. You know?
Yeah.
Then she kicked the garbage can on her way out.
Because she was
Yeah,
upset
she was
because he
pissed.
turns out to, in her, he's turning out to be just like
all the rest. Everybody else. Oh yeah, we just happened to be. This is my apartment right here. How many times have I done that?
I think he would have been good for her. I mean, like if she could have just put that aside.
But he lied about being there.
I understand
She
that.
lied.
But he was just a kid.
Let's see. Yeah.
No, I really liked him. I wanted some happiness for her. I thought this would help pull her out of that hole. And I'm like, this is going to be good. And then it all fell apart. And it was just like,
Well, but the whole thing is once you got a person that's got that personality that's just
he
going to
drank her spit.
But she wasn't honest with him.
That should have been a red flag.
She
That's
didn't
psychotic.
come clean and say, I have a Batman alter ego where I torture men at night.
No, she didn't feel safe enough to. You have to really trust somebody to do that.
He said the L word.
I'm shocked that he recognized her when she was leaving with the black guy because she looked nothing like herself. It's like you would see her. She looked a lot different when she would go out.
Way hotter.
I would say whorish, more
No,
whorier.
she looked
Horish.
hotter without,
I liked her without that.
Asking for it.
Oh.
Oh,
While we're on the subject, though, hit that the guy who's getting married.
it's hopeless. You guys will never grow up. You'll never learn.
Talk about back up your bro, that dude. Except when the cops showed up, he ran off into the
Williams, calm down.
Oh, are you doing bros before hoes now?
woods.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
You refer to the black guy as a bro. Yeah.
No, but his best man at the wedding, like when he helped him with the body and everything like that, that's a real bro.
I know a lot of people I know that would help me burn up.
Yeah, that's a real bro. The guy who turns tails and runs as soon as he hears the siren.
I think he banked enough bro credit to run at that point.
Agree.
I just got the feeling that this guy was
When you kick a
truly.
hooker's arm back onto the fire.
Hold on, Molly. What?
I just got the feeling that the friend that it was truly just psychotic when he comes up and he just barely bats an eye and he's like, well, this didn't happen. Let's just make it go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I think men should be shown in a better light in movies. I said that time and again, and I will continue to say that.
So you don't think how long has movies been around? You don't think 112 years of men being the heroes of movies is enough, and maybe we can look at it from a different way, even for just a little while?
Well, we can still have the good movies with the good guys in them. It seems like everything I'm seeing now, guys are all bad. And it hasn't been 112 years of all good guys. There's been bad guys in the movies.
Oh, there's some bad guys in there too. But for the most part, men have been the heroes. Women aren't the heroes.
You gotta think about with this movie, to me, it was like you're putting yourself into kind of her situation and her mindset, and this is what she's been through, and this is
Yeah.
what trauma has done to her. You know,
Yeah, when I watched it the second time, when it was over, I turned to my brother and I said, "Women are really pissed, and now and they can say it, and they've got every right to be pissed." And my brother said, "Yeah, this is just the beginning of the storm. This movie, I mean, and the Me Too movement, and the consciousness of having been taken advantage of. We talked earlier. Somebody talked about the feeling of being helpless. Men aren't put in that position very often, but women are put in that position all the time.
yeah.
And it's that position of being helpless is exactly the position she puts those men in. And it's worth understanding that it's worth understanding that, first of all, we've been talking about the battle of the sexes for hundreds and hundreds of years, but it's not a battle. It shouldn't be a battle. It doesn't need to be a battle. It's not really that much fun when it's a battle. Somebody doesn't have to win and somebody doesn't have to lose.
I'm not losing, right? We were talking about that earlier.
Tom doesn't like to lose.
Doesn't like to lose.
That's right. He's competitive. That's right. But do you say things and think things like, "Oh, I tapped that ass. I'd like to tap that ass," and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
I hope women think that about me once in a while.
It
feels so pretty.
Right in front of your mom.
Thank you.
I gotta let that slide.
Well, what about you? Do you do that?
Do I do what?
Do you say you'd like to tap that ass? Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah.
No, I've never said those words because I don't like those words.
Have you lusted in your heart?
Oh yeah, I've lusted in my heart almost every day. And Little Red,
Oh boy.
which we'll talk about in a minute, as the successor to this, or the precursor to this, that I understand the guy in Little Red. And if you've never seen Little Red, you won't understand what I mean. But if you've seen Little Red, you understand what I mean, and you may take a step back, because I do. So I've lusted, more than lusted, in my heart. Yeah, and I've been certainly, I've been more aggressive in sex than I should have been. I mean,
You hear that, Ma? You like him even more now. Mom's getting you. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I've got my whips right here.
Oh,
All right.
uh-oh.
Well, let's do this. Here you go, Ma.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Your Oscar trophy for picking
Good.
the best winners.
Or set that right on my handcuffs.
No.
There you go.
Right up the
Good for you.
Fine.
No. I get it. So what was the question? Yes. So yeah, no, I've been that guy, sure.
Okay. All right.
And I may be that guy again.
And I'll also be honest with you. I was sexually harassed when I was 18, and I worked as a room service waiter in a hotel in New Orleans, and the cocktail waitresses were in their 30s, late 20s, and they would say and touch me, and I didn't mind. I mean, I didn't mind at all. I mean, but like, if it would have been someone who would have been offended by it, I think it would have made them uncomfortable. It didn't make me feel uncomfortable. It made me happy.
Well, maybe it's due to the sexual dimorphic nature of people. If these women who were grabbing and touching you could have physically held you down, and they were like, say, 7 feet tall and 400 pounds in
One
strength.
of them did grab me in the storeroom and stuck a tongue down my throat.
Okay.
She was like 30, and I was like 18.
But you know, it's the power advantage we don't really have to worry about as much.
Well, that's true.
Right. Yeah. Because biologically, men still, just in most cases, are bigger and stronger, and women have been socialized for millennium to submit to men.
Yeah. It's almost like evolution is dragging behind to what our mind.
Well, and I think that's probably, you're right. That's always the case. I think our minds can conceive, we can be aspirational in our imagination, and we'll drag ourselves towards that aspiration, the evolution of the species. But now with work, with the ability to make ourselves safe and comfortable in the world, having been taken care of to a degree in certain parts of the country, we can evolve this a new way. We can evolve so that it's a very long the fact that the birth canal, the fact that we stood up on our hind legs so soon and quick and started walking through the tall grass so we could see where we were going, shortened the birth canal, which makes the infant much more vulnerable than almost every other species on the planet for longer, and therefore binds the woman to that job of taking care of the infant. And that's no longer the case, because the man doesn't have to be out there killing the saber-toothed tiger or tilling the fields. The man can stay back and handle the infant at the same time, and the woman doesn't have to be bound to that child. So we are evolving biologically, physically, evolutionarily. We are evolving towards but our minds can conceive of a utopia, or a more balanced relationship.
Yeah, I know they did a study on goby fish, and they said that mutation to where it's a noticeable difference, the fastest they've ever measured that was 40 generations.
40 generations. Oh, really? Okay. Because
we got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of time. Although it is true, too, that in some scientists, anyway, will say that the fact that the ice is disappearing for the polar bear, and the polar bear could go extinct. Most scientists think that within 2 or 3 generations, polar bears will have evolved so that they don't necessarily have to spend so much time on the ice. They can evolve, their digestive systems can evolve, their habits can evolve, their behavior can evolve, so they can survive. So 40 generations for some, and fewer for smaller increments of change, maybe a couple of generations.
Probably because in scientific studies, to study the generations, they have to be quick turnover.
I mean, just in terms of how quickly evolutionary things happen in terms of evolution, is it amaze anybody except me that in my generation, we've gone from homosexuality being something that you just don't mention, that you don't admit to, that you don't want near you. I certainly wouldn't want my sister even touching a homosexual. When I was a kid, when I was in the late 40s, early 50s,
yeah,
to now, where homosexuality is if not universally accepted, but is admired, accepted. It's part of the fabric of who we are and what we, and as is gender, as is transgender, to all the letters in that acronym LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems remarkable to me. It seems like that's happened in 1 or 2 generations. Now it hasn't. It's happened over long periods of time. But I don't know.
There is a new study out that judges evolution on adaptability as a new mark of intelligence that they didn't count before.
Yeah.
So the chimpanzees used to be the second smartest on the planet. But when the fig trees die out, the chimps just starve. So they found out that orangutans, when their habitat, they adapt and move to other places where chimps will wait for the figs to sprout. But if there's no figs, they don't adapt and they die out quicker. So they found out that orangutans are actually smarter than chimps.
Right.
Due to the new quality of adaptability. And I think humans are probably the most adaptable if you see where we live, Inuits in the desert, we can live everywhere. So I think the adaptability is what makes us smart.
Well, let's get back to the movie.
How do we go there?
Science nerd. Listen, when you're talking about transgender, the coffee shop owner in this movie was obviously a transgender. That was a great character.
Yeah, she was great.
We
She
liked
was one of the most human characters in the movie,
absolutely
Yeah.
100%. That was a
She's-
great role.
with a good sense of humor, and yeah,
She's from Orange Is the New Black, and she is
yeah,
in
exactly.
that role
She's-
as well. I love
Mhm.
her.
Yep, she was great.
Yeah,
had
she's been kind of the point person in terms of transgender being openly publicly accepted, and it's so great to have her in that role,
Hmm.
playing such a person who has the most real humanity without being sappy, saccharine, sentimental about it.
And a real lady. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's a lady and classy lady.
Yeah,
yeah,
Sense of humor. I like
she-
that character.
she has an identical twin brother.
she does.
Yeah,
No kidding.
in Orange Is the New Black, there's some flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Her character pre-transition, and it's played by her twin brother.
And he's,
Oh, no kidding. Oh, cool. That's good. I bet she's really fun to hang out with. She'd be great.
she seemed like she would be
Yeah.
a blast to hang out with.
Yeah.
Because we
Let's
got to
go
move
around.
on to Little Red.
Red,
So I
yeah.
think we should go ahead and give our ratings.
Yeah.
Molly?
Okay, yeah, let's do our ratings. Go ahead. I'm gonna give it a 5 for performance, also for just the moment that it fills, that it actually pushes ahead. I think it doesn't just take part in this moment, this movement, but it actually pushes it ahead, because I really do think that hopefully, I don't know, I would think that that men might learn something from watching it, but I also think that women who are like Madison, who think, oh, well, they're just boys and we'll get around, we'll manage, we'll get around it. They'll give us children and we'll have the children and we can ignore them. Who think who get their revenge on men in ways that they don't announce as revenge. I think it might hopefully push some women to a point where they sort of say, enough is enough, man. Fuck
Mhm.
this shit. I'm not doing it anymore.
Language.
There'll be a lot of unhappy frat boys. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Barb. You rate.
Yeah.
I think I give it a 5 too. It
You give it a 5? Good.
made me laugh. It made you think. It pulls you along the whole time. The whole time, even to the point of like with her friend, you're wondering the whole time what happened. They don't really come out and say that what happened.
Right.
Just
Yes, it's
it
more
dead, but you don't get details on that. You don't.
right.
It made you laugh. It made you think. It made you feel lots of different things. And
Yeah.
very powerful. And her performance was powerful.
Yeah, performance was just great because it was so spot on and so filled with humor and humanity. It's really good. She's really great. I've been watching a lot of The Dig. We saw her in The Dig. And Education is, I think, the first film that anybody noticed her in a lot. She's really wonderful. And I don't know how old she is, but I think she's got a lot of good stuff ahead of her too, which is nice.
All right.
Tom?
I'm going to give it a 5 as well. It had
Good.
me thinking. There is just one little point. I don't think she would have got through 200 people before somebody killed her. And also,
It would have been in the news more, I think.
I know you say this is the start of it. I actually think it's already won. We just have to let the people die.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Like, time just has to catch up. I think the women have already won. It's just give it some time
Well,
for everybody who's not ever going to change their mind, the blockheads, to die off
you
in the
talking
next
about me?
generation. Oh, not you.
I
You talking about me? You sound like Oprah. They just have to die.
Well, I mean,
no, you're right. We're not going to be able to change everybody's mind. They're going to have to die out, like the
Why
dinosaurs
are you
did.
necessarily saying that? You're right, though. I mean, it's one extreme or the other. There's some room in the middle there where there were lots of good people. The majority of the people
we
are
didn't see him
good.
in this movie. That's
And
the
you're just
universe
showing
I'm
this-
living.
This awful extreme side, and then you're like, you gotta stop them. They gotta die. It's like, come on, Tom. I won't give it a 5. I'll tell you that. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'll give
4.5.
her a 5 for her performance. But I didn't like the fact that she died, and I didn't like every man except for her dad. He was kind of, well, her parents, by the way, Jennifer Coolidge and Clancy Brown, great. I love them.
Yeah.
as parents. They were very understanding. They kind of laid off a little bit. It was subtle.
They got
I
her
really liked their
luggage.
parents, but I didn't like seeing her die, and I didn't like every other guy in that movie being a piece of shit. It's like
But
it's
that like
unrealistic.
completed everything.
It's unrealistic to me.
She
So-
got the person that did it.
But she died.
She was already dead
She
the whole
was
time.
committed to it
You
at that
had a
point.
chance of happiness, and
But he ruined that.
well, he didn't ruin it then. He ruined it before. He didn't know that it was.
Have you ever watched a movie called Funny Games by Michael Haneke?
No,
William, you should watch this movie.
funny game.
It's Funny Games. He made it in German first, and then he made it almost frame for frame with I think it's Tim Roth or Ewan McGregor, I can't remember, and Naomi Watts in English. And there's a moment in it. It's about a home invasion. It's about two wonderfully fun white guys in tennis outfits who come into people's homes in this rich gated community and basically terrorize them and end up killing them. And at one point, it's hard to. There's a moment where the bad guys, the guys in white tennis outfits, have taken this family. Naomi Watts, I can't remember. I think it's Ewan McGregor. I guess it is, and their son. They've taken them prisoner, and they're holding them. There's a shotgun that they've been holding them prisoner with. And there's a moment where Naomi Watts, gets loose, grabs the shotgun, turns it on them, and shoots one of them, and is about to shoot the other. And the other guy looks at her and goes, "No, no, no," and then goes to looks at the camera and rewinds the camera. Basically, gives a sign for rewind and goes back. And then he gets the gun away from her. What the moment tells me is no more happy endings. No more Hollywood endings. Enough of these Hollywood endings. They're the ones, that's the thing that's not true. That's not realistic. Not that every man in this movie is an asshole.
Okay.
Because this movie, and you shouldn't assume that just because every man in this movie is an asshole. And there are degrees of assholedom, just like there are degrees of murder. And Bo Burnham's character is not as bad an asshole, and he's trying, and he does recognize that he was young then and an asshole, but I think he recognizes it in a different way, not as an excuse. And this movie doesn't have every man in it. You may not be, you're the one man of honor, and you're not in this frame. This movie is framed on other people, not on you.
Man.
Well, and I think he was, probably the best character the best male, like gentlemanly male character.
Man, he worked with kids.
Well, that doesn't mean you're a good guy.
Killed kids, according
According
boss.
to her.
But
yeah.
I think that this experience is definitely going to change his life for the worst. I don't know that the cops were coming after him. He just got to witness.
He got the face.
No, I think
This
he's
is what
going
happened,
down.
and then they,
I think he's going down.
He's Horatio to her Hamlet in some ways. I mean, he can tell her story, and she's telling him this is not the end.
You know, he could have showed up to the bachelor party and prevented all this shit if he was a real man. But he was a beta male. He just sat at home and let it unfold like it did. Shame on him.
Right.
Ma, you grade it?
She is not.
I would give it a 5. And what I really liked about the movie was it was an emotional roller coaster, and it made you feel. And after the movie, you were actually drained from watching it. And when a movie impacts you like that, like a Private Ryan or a Titanic, and when you come out of the movie, you go, wow, it really impacts you. I enjoy that in a movie, and a lot of lessons learned. And I think a lot of people that have had these experiences are going to go, oh,
Great. Good. I completely agree, and you're very right. Just in terms of the political moment or the social moment aside, just in terms of a movie, it really does take you on this wonderful kind of roller coaster ride. Because, like William pointed out, this woman who seems to be set on revenge meets this guy who actually seems like he might be a nice guy, and she seems there might be hope. She might give it all up because she might actually find a partner, a mate that she can travel with, which is we all want a mate to travel with for a while until a better mate comes along.
Yeah.
From the beginning, though, I was like, "This is never going to work" because he's still friends with all these other guys, and
I know, yeah. Yeah, we should have been suspicious. I wasn't. I took that ride. I kept thinking, well, what are they going to do now? She can't fall in love with this guy. She has her mission, but she's willing to go. She's willing to give that up. And then it turns out she comes back. All right, good. A lot of 5s and 1 deadbeat over there on the side.
I kept it from being unanimous. I'm sorry.
One man who will not change.
Yep.
Because he's already an honorable man.
I'll be dead. I'll
gave
be
it a
dead
4.5.
soon.
He'll be dead soon. We ain't got to worry about him. Just
That's right.
tight. We're a
Turn the little
dolphin.
hourglass over. The clock is ticking.
He's got replacements. already.
Okay. Do you have a little time? Do you want to talk about Little Red?
Little
Yes,
Red. We
let's
got a
do
little
that.
time.
It's kind of on topic.
I
a little bit.
definitely will watch that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it, Barb? Okay.
Okay.
It's creepy.
I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't think if you like him, I don't think you should see it because he's.
That's all right. She should see all the way around me.
See it.
Yeah.
Yep.
See what the maestro does.
Yeah. See the maestro in his Speedo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know that was something that Tate did to me that I thought I'm never going to forgive him for that. But it's such a weird feeling to walk around in one of those, especially in public. When we were shooting that beach scene with me in the Speedo, Hannah's mom was about 40 feet away watching.
Oh no.
Mostly just because she was there because she had to be for her daughter, but because you need to have an adult on the set, a social worker, and we couldn't afford that. So her mom came along. And also she just wanted to watch Hannah act because she's a big fan of Hannah's acting. But she had to be restrained at one point. She was 40 feet away. She couldn't even necessarily hear what I was saying. But when I took my pants off in the Speedo and sat down on the beach blanket next to Hannah and started talking to her, as it were, she had to be restrained and held back because she was charging at me and at the camera and starting to talk. She had to say, "They're just acting. They're just acting."
So she was actually under age. I wasn't sure how old the actress was.
Yeah, I think she was 14 when we made it.
Okay.
But I think
She's actually
in the
14.
movie, the character was like 11.
Yeah,
11.
the news article said 11.
11 years old.
Yeah.
So 11-year-old runaway
Yep.
Yeah.
snuck onto a plane, went down to Florida, and her main goal was she wanted to see these horses on an island.
Yeah, and
On Cumberland Island,
it
the
didn't-
wild horses. Yeah.
there was any like sinister reason she was running away. She had wanted to see this Cumberland Island, and her parents wouldn't take her. That's
Right.
Sleeping on
Yeah.
the beach. That's just like a girl that young, alone at night, by herself on the beach. Ooh, that was just
And then
rough.
The big bad wolf caught her scent on the plane.
Yeah. I spotted her in the lobby, waiting on the waiting room before we get on the plane. Even.
yeah.
Right,
So it is-
Wisconsin. In Wisconsin.
It's called Little Red, and it seems to be based loosely
It's based on Little Red Riding Hood.
Riding Hood, where there's the big bad
Exactly.
wolf, and she's Little Red, and then there's a woodcutter later, or is it the woodcutter
The
that comes to
woodsman?
rescue? Yeah, the
Well, yeah, it's hard to tell whether the woodsman is the other girl that she travels with, or the guy with the big truck.
it's the truck driver.
Yeah, the truck driver. That's what I think. Yeah,
He saves both girls at the end.
that's right. Right. He
Yeah.
comes and gets them at the end. Yeah.
Like the police, to get her dad there, and then he takes the other one home. I mean, he saves
Right. And what happens to my character, to the big bad wolf?
You just go on your way.
He just
Yeah, he doesn't get caught. He's still out there.
Still
Yeah.
out there.
Oh.
That's why this is a good educational video. Molly's sister used to be a free spirit, and we worried about her a lot.
She
Mm.
Yeah.
would lots of
I mean, she would take a job in a different state and bus ticket there and work for room and board and just trust everybody. And it's like, maybe you should watch Little Red.
she
You know,
went to New Mexico, I think, to some lodge to work for room and board and just sight unseen. I mean, she just went.
Yeah.
The
Is she
hip-
still doing that?
Yeah.
No, she wised up.
No, she hasn't. But after that, they went to, was it New Orleans for a while? I think it was New Orleans. And they were doing pretty much the same thing. She'd been a vegetarian, and during that stint, she had to
Oh, okay.
stop being a vegetarian because it was too expensive. The money to
Not a lot of principle,
eat vegetarian.
but she just believed in the good in everybody. And we're like, you're a cute little young girl. Don't get your head out of the clouds. This is dangerous.
It is. It can be. There's men like all those men in Promising Young Woman out there.
She's a very free spirited kind of like hippie soul, you know.
But has she done all right? Is she okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's good. She is lucky though, and she's
I think
Good
God
sh-
looks out for those people mostly.
I mean,
You hope.
you say that again?
I said you hope that God looks out for those people.
Yeah, well, yeah, and since there's still a good question about this God fellow, you better look out for him too.
Absolutely.
We have to look out for each other
yes.
because, yeah,
The big bad wolf is waiting in the wings.
right.
There.
There was a version of this that I tried to do, but I wasn't successful in doing because we improvised a lot. Where I was never going to touch her. I was only going to get close, and there's a in that scene on the beach, which sort of brings it all to a head. There was a moment that I really liked, but Tate couldn't use it because it didn't fit in the cutting, where she has sand on her thigh. And in the version you see, I brush the sand off, which is kind of a microaggression, more than a microaggression when the girl is 11 years old.
Yeah.
But there was one version of it where I leaned over and I blew the sand off.
Ooh.
And I said, just like blowing out candles on a birthday cake.
Oh,
Ooh.
I wouldn't call that a microaggression at all.
Yeah.
Romantic over there, look at her. Oh.
No, I wasn't being romantic. I was like,
No, that's horrible.
there were so many parts in this movie where I was just having a hard time watching it because it was so creepy. And your facial expressions in this movie were like, on
I'm glad
point.
you're a good actor. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. I was just acting.
Yeah.
But it's a great, I mean, it's always good to play the bad guy. And it was a fun part to play because there's that magnificent tension and because that predatory nature exists in all of us. And so if I can just hint at it at places with my facial expression, with blowing sand off of her thigh, I can awaken that predatory instinct in the audience and the prey instinct too in audience, and make them feel it that much more. So, but thank you, Molly,
I was
for hating me.
so creeped out. Crap, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is some really great acting, just because you get so into this character and it's so creepy and it's so like there's all the little tiny things you can see everything going through like this character's like mind just behind his eyes, and especially at the end where the little girl's reunited with his father and he's just sitting in the car watching, and you can see him like shedding tears and, like
right. At
all
my
of his-
loss, my great loss. We could have had such a great future together, she and I.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really like the last scene, dialogue scene with Kara from the field.
Yeah.
Who's Tate's wife, who plays the woman who's taking care of the little inn where I go in.
Yep.
where he's really sort of gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Tate let me write most of that.
Well, she was kind of over the top with her performance, and then you kind of mocked her when you were talking to her. You kind of met that same kind of over the top, the way she was talking, and you like gave her the same thing.
Well, are you always this cheerful?
Yeah.
I know.
Like you to please.
Haven't you wanted to say that to people always? The waitress who comes up and said, "So, what are you going to have?" I say, "I'm going to have you not so cheerful. Thank you."
Yeah, I haven't had my coffee yet.
Having
Shut
that
up.
coffee, right?
Right.
She caught that, the little girl was talking to her dad on the phone, so this clearly is not her dad that's coming in,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, and
She
yeah,
knows.
I liked her performance as well. I enjoyed it.
What did
Yeah, I like that too.
She didn't call the cops and she knew what was wrong. She's
That's
a total
true.
bitch.
She should have. She should
Tom,
have.
for some reason, doesn't like this poor woman.
No,
Well,
she was
especially
great.
when
Oh, I'm gonna
he
pass out
leaves
on
going,
that.
I'll find them on my own. You think she would? Maybe she did call the cops too. The guy
I
said
think
that
she
he did.
did.
She might have too. But Tom did point out that she gave away her Wisconsin-ness by what did she say? When she was pointing out where the phone was, she said something that was very Midwestern.
Yeah, she did. I don't remember exactly, but you can catch it like, oh,
Oh.
that is so Wisconsin.
Yeah, one of the things that she says is very Midwestern like phrase. It's
Right.
Like you're supposed to be in Georgia. That's not how they talk.
Like calling a water fountain a bubbler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was saying the phone is like over.
We're not-
Kitty
I don't
corner?
know. No, I don't know. I don't remember it. I didn't write it down.
Yeah, that's good to catch that moment though, because we weren't careful. He made that movie for like $10,000,
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
and it looks great. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some real nuance. It's a really good story. I like it. Don't tell Tate. I like it better than The Field,
Really?
but
Did-
mostly because I think I had more to do in it.
Him in the Speedo that you can blow up.
Oh, yeah. That's her screensaver.
What?
You in the Speedo. She's got that on.
That's her screen.
Oh no. I wasn't. I'm not in terrible shape though.
Oh.
No.
No.
I wish I looked that good in a Speedo.
Awfully white skin though.
Yeah.
You were a little
very-
pasty down there.
That's
white.
Wisconsin.
I was definitely from Wisconsin. You're right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it
Yeah,
was,
you don't
Yeah.
want to draw attention to yourself, but then you got this white beacon.
Right.
Powder.
it was
Powder.
it was a good movie. It was very well put together, I thought, and it
Yeah.
I mean, boy.
Yeah. No, he did a great job for having no money and he had a script. I mean, the idea Tate teaches at UW Milwaukee in the film school, which is primarily an experimental. They turn out experimental filmmakers, and they don't do anything on narrative. They consciously don't do narrative storytelling. And Tate really wanted to do storytelling, so the advice he was given was take a structure that's easy, like a fairy tale, something that everybody knows, and build something off of that, which was a very smart thing to do. And he took Little Red Riding Hood and built, because you've got a bad guy, you got a good guy, you got a little possibility, you got a romantic vision and that gets there where that's jeopardized, and we can save the romantic vision by the end. And so he took that structure and built this film out of it. And Susan Kearns wrote the script, but the script was also very loose. The script was almost an outline. So we improvised a lot while we were putting it together, and went back and rewrote. And we didn't really, and so it's very. I think I told you at one point, we're riding to a location in the morning to shoot, and Tate sees another place on the beach go by, and he'd say, "Wait, turn here. I want to shoot something here." And he would just make up a scene and shoot a scene there. So very loosey-goosey, and it's a scary way to work because you don't really know what's going on, but it's a fun way to work when it works and when people don't start to shoot each other. And everybody got along. We all lived in one little house. It was fun. I loved shooting that movie.
This
I
was
really liked it.
this was one of those movies that had me yelling at the screen though.
Oh, good, good.
What are you doing?
Don't go up the stairs. No, don't go up the stairs. Yeah, those movies depend on people doing stuff that you really shouldn't do and wouldn't
And
do.
all her stuff got stolen. I mean, I felt so bad for that poor girl.
Yeah.
I know. Just
Yeah.
that's why young girls like that need their parents around because they do stupid stuff.
Very.
Wait, young girls like that need to what?
Need
Their
to have their
parents
parents around. Kids are dumb.
Not just girls. Didn't he do
He
stupid
said
stuff?
kids.
Kids.
He said girls first.
He did say girls first.
Oh, he said
well,
kids.
kids
the
are
second time.
dumb.
Well, he hasn't evolved completely yet,
Oh,
but
guys.
Tom's on the way.
A rock and roll lifestyle. You know, I ain't got long.
He's wearing the hoodie. He's got the spiked hair.
But yeah, it's
Right.
hard. It's like you could yell at everybody in that movie. I could yell at Mark, going, "You're hiding behind. Like, hide better."
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you were pretty obvious. And then there were times where you lost your temper with her friend, and it's like, why are they not calling the cops on this guy?
Why? What? Oh,
When you went off on her little girlfriend.
Well,
I know.
because she was a runaway. They called.
Yeah, she can't call the cops because she gets busted if I get busted.
Yeah, you
And who do you think who's the cop going to believe? Me or that little blonde bimbo? I'm an upstanding citizen. I'm a man. I have a job.
Yeah, but you had that article with the runaway. They could have just pulled this up and said, "This guy's after us," and sent your ass to jail. You should have gone to jail.
but
Well,
she
he
didn't
technically
want the
do
police to
anything
find her.
illegal, right? How would
Why?
they put him in
She was
jail?
going home anyway. How long was she going to stay away?
She wanted to see the horses on the island.
And she
Yeah.
didn't get a
Do
chance
that
to
yet.
see them. Did
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did. She got all kinds of pictures. But what
She
would
what?
Mark gone to jail for, though? He technically
Didn't do
I
it.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't really do anything illegal.
Probably did still have her panties in your car.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, but
I'm
is there any
sure.
point when she was
I had them made into a pair of panties for myself.
yeah. Well, you know, everybody's got to mask up these days.
oh my goodness.
Two birds with one stone.
There's a scene where he's going through the bag and he's slowly pulling out what I just assumed was panties.
Yeah.
It's clothing, and then he's just slowly sniffing like
Oh.
that.
He wasn't conscious enough to show the panties.
Yeah, no.
He was sniffing something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Your mind.
Did you like the special effects of me turning into a wolf when they're sleeping out and I crawl over them and sniff them?
That was creepy
Mhm.
too. That
Yeah.
was so creepy.
Good.
At one
And I
point, you
can't believe
howl.
I'm like they're sleeping so soundly. He's crawling all over.
Yeah.
They don't even wake up.
That's because I'm a wolf. I'm silent.
Yeah.
We didn't have the special effects to put a beard on me. Or Tate wanted me to let my beard grow, so that it would be like more bushy but my beard doesn't grow. I could grow it. We could shoot for 7 months, and I still would not have enough hair. So I just had to do it in my body and my nose.
Yeah.
Sniffing.
That was
Well,
creepy.
Molly,
And I like that scene. So I thank you all for watching it. I
Oh,
mean,
I
more
enjoyed-
people should watch it, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
educational.
I mean, for
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
it was, and I mean, it's a lower budget. Would say an indie film, right?
Yeah, it's a low budget and totally independent film. Yeah.
So
And
I mean,
Where did you guys watch? Did you watch it on Netflix? Not on. Where it's on something. I can't remember what it's on though.
yeah, we watched it on Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Prime.
Amazon Prime. Okay, good.
It was there.
Yeah,
Although
it's
I-
available on most platforms.
Although when I searched for it, I searched Little Red, and there were tons of other things. I had to scroll over quite a ways to get to it because there were
Oh,
lots
really? Oh, okay.
of Little Red Riding Hood like cartoons and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure there are. Yeah, it's way down the list. We didn't have the budget for a publicist.
Yeah.
Our
But-
publicist won't be in the in memoriam section of the Oscar awards. Excuse me.
he should be. I mean, gosh, I'd at least give it a 4.5, maybe even a 5 for an. I mean,
Well, that's all right. 4.5 is good because you're right. It's handicapped by budget and by just the fact that I don't know. It's
I try to take that into account. Like I can't judge an indie film the same way as I would judge,
the Avengers,
a Hollywood
Yeah.
film.
right? Yeah. Good. All right. Good. A 4, 4.5, 5. That's good. That's good. Thank you. Tom?
It creeped me out.
I'm gonna give it.
It's funny how that word, every screening that we did at every festival, people would always say, and all my family that saw it, and my ex-wife's sisters that saw it, all creepy was the word.
Creepy was the word. I'm gonna give it a 4. Just a solid 4. It's educational. People can see it.
Education.
It would have been educational for your sister. That's who I
Yeah.
got it written down. That's exactly who I was thinking about. Needed to see this and be like,
Yeah.
there is bad out there. Don't live in a everybody's good. You need some
Yeah.
reality check.
Well, she must have fairly good instincts, because it is hard to spend a lifetime. How many years has she been on the road that way?
She would go every summer for a few years.
That sounds like a great life, man. I admire that.
Yeah.
And nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Well, you have to have pretty good instincts, especially I think as a woman. And if you're traveling alone as a single woman, you have to have pretty good instincts to sort of say, well, that guy is wearing his pants a little weird. I'm going to stay away from that.
You can also
And
just
bear
hit
mace.
36 red on a spin and just get lucky in life.
She just always scared me because she was way too trusting.
And
Say
nothing.
that. Wait, say that again, Molly.
She just always scared me because she was always way too trusting, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing
Well,
happened. So good
No,
for her.
I mean, she's fine.
yeah, it's good. It's good she got it way out of it unscathed.
Not
she
worried
did.
or in no fear. I think that's great. I admire that, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nothing bad happened. So she's ahead of the game.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
Okay.
I'll give
There
my-
was a billboard. There was a billboard for a while in LA that said, "Just because you survived your drug experience doesn't mean your children will."
Yeah.
And so it is. It's great that she survived unscathed, but it doesn't mean everybody will. So
Right.
watch yourself, kids, when you're out there.
Big Bad Wolf is
trust
still
your
loose.
instincts. Trust your instincts.
Right?
So
Yeah.
I would give it also a 4. And the only reason I wouldn't give it a 5 because it was a powerful movie to watch.
Mhm.
It was hard for me to watch a young girl
Oh yeah.
and that kind of subject matter. I can't give it a great rating because it's just a horrible
It
thing to
made
see.
you get the feelings.
It's supposed to be a hard
Yeah.
thing.
I know.
But I get it.
We know now, though, that William really likes fairy tales with
Well,
happy endings.
Yep.
I will say this: you were creepy as hell, and I mean, and speaking to you every other week, knowing that you're nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an acting job you did.
Can you give us one of those faces?
I can't because I don't. It's never. It's not a character that I can just
Just pull
turn
up.
on and turn off, because I want to caution with William. That guy lives inside me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who he is, but I also know about impulse control.
Yeah.
You got to keep
And
him hidden way down.
what?
You got to keep him hidden way down.
Just stomp on
That's
it
right.
for a while.
Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, he does. I don't let him dominate. I don't let him take the reins. Barb, what did you give it? Did you rate it?
I
hasn't
haven't
watched.
seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
No.
Okay.
She knows you're
Yeah.
in a speedo, so
Well,
she wants
yeah,
an empty
she's going
house.
to give it.
Oh yeah,
for him
I'm
and
gonna
his
watch it
speedo.
alone at night.
Get a lot of good.
That's a
lipping and-
tentative 5 from Barb.
Right. If call me when the speedo scene comes, we can talk.
Okay, our FaceTime that'll be.
We can do a little FaceTime. That's right.
I'm calling him dad. I'm calling him dad.
Tom said he's not going to call you dad.
Oh God.
I'm not calling him dad. All I can do. That's my. I'm dying on this hill. I'm not calling him dad.
How about Mark?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see what he gets me for Christmas.
That's all right, son. You can call me whatever you want.
It kind of felt good.
Oh,
What
that's
has
funny.
happened?
Uh,
All right, so we have to talk about the next movie.
Oh yeah, what are we going to do next?
Could I make a suggestion? Because
When have you ever not made a suggestion? Yes.
you don't have to take it, but I was attempting to watch this movie and I had clicked on the wrong movie and I started watching it and I'm like, I don't think this is the right movie, but it was so good that I had to finish watching it. And it's called I Care a Lot. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
So
Oh wait, yes, with what's her name? Roxanne Hart? No, Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, exactly, from Gone Baby.
Right? Didn't we talk about that movie once already?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
you've seen it.
Yeah, I think that would be a good movie to. I've seen it, but I'll watch it again because it's very well made, and I think there's a real good conversation there, especially coming right after Promising Young Woman, because I think Promising Young Woman succeeds, whereas I Care a Lot, or I Really Care, I Care a Lot,
I Care a Lot.
does not succeed in doing what in being a cautionary tale. Promising woman. If you think of it as a cautionary tale, these are things to be cautious about. Promising Young Woman also. I mean, I Care a Lot also is well. Yeah, let's do that. That's a good one. We can do that.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
Listen,
And,
when
then,
you say
and then we have to go back and do an oldie but goodie at some point.
okay,
Let's
Yes,
do
we
that
should.
after that.
but
Back
caution,
in the days when they all had happy endings, because William may be happier then.
listen. I think that we should make up the point after watching Promising Young Woman. Guys, if you're out in a bar and you see a woman in that condition and people are trying to take advantage, step up, be a man, and stop it.
Yeah, interesting thing about my brother had just watched. I talk about my brother a lot, but he's my moral conscience. He had just watched Gentleman's Agreement, which if you haven't seen, you should take a look at. Elia Kazan movie with Gregory Peck, John Garfield, a bunch of really good people in it. It's about a West Coast journalist who goes to the East Coast and he wants to write about anti-Semitism. So he pretends he's a Jew. And it gets very complicated with his friends and his family. And I won't go into it in detail. But my brother said after we watched The Promising Young Woman, it's the same movie. Because in Gentleman's Agreement, they say at some point, when you see an injustice, when you see things are wrong, they're more preachy in the old days when Kazan was directing movies than they are now. You have to stand up. The words that William just used. You have to stand up. You have to speak out against anti-Semitism, against male dominance, gendered, whatever you call that, against that kind of male behavior, against female behavior. If a woman's getting drunk and passing out in a bar, help her home. I mean, don't help her to your home. Get her a cab. Find her friends. Step in, step up, say something. Like they've said in England ever since the Irish used to put bombs on the corner. If you see something, and they say in New York still to this day, if you see something, say something. It's all of our responsibility, and that's part of the message of A Promising Young Woman, is everybody's got to do something.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to step up, hurry up and die.
That's right. Get out of the way. Like we used to say, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. Well, if you don't want to step up, you're taking up too much room. Get out.